I was gone last week, so I'm going to try to get 2 videos done this week. Phoebe, can we think we can do 2? I'm not sure. We'll try. Let's try. So, first one, I'm going to go through a review of the 200 bird month and talk about some of the things went right, some of the things went wrong. Maybe some of you who try something like that can get a tip or two, make it easier for you. I don't know what you can do about the weather. Plan it for that. I was unfortunately locked in the dates, so I was stuck with what I got. Anyway, hope you enjoy this. Let's start with the top 10 birds I saw on the May trip. I'm not going to count them down. Let's just start with the best. The yellow-billed cuckoos I saw with my niece and her fiance in Peoria have to rank at the top. I don't see those very often, although my daughter did give me a clue where I can find some here in California. Anyway, they're just spectacular birds. These are the best photos I got of them. Really enjoyed them. The dick sissels I saw at the marsh in Nebraska were the second best bird, probably close to the cuckoo. I don't see those often either. I used to see them in Alabama at Wheeler Wildlife Refuge in the winter, but they weren't singing or carving out territories, so it was really fun to see these. Orchard orioles are ones I used to see in Alabama halfway frequently when I lived there. They were at the farm my in-laws had out in the countryside. It was beautiful, and it brought back good memories to see them. I didn't even know we had brown-crested flycatchers in California, so to find them at Big Morongo was a real treat. Yellow-shafted flickers are just about my favorite bird. They bring back a lot of good memories from my youth. I wish I'd seen some better to take better photos, but I'll take what I can get. It was great to see them again. Scarlet tanagers are another familiar Midwest and Southern bird from my early years. Happy to see those also. Scott's orioles are one I see more often these days out west. I can find them pretty often at Joshua Tree, sometimes in Arizona. But they're pretty, they sing pretty. I love them. I've got to put the Canada warbler on this list, as it was really the only special warbler that I saw on this trip. I was disappointed in my warbler totals. My images don't do it justice, but I did see that pretty necklace. Lark buntings were my nemesis bird for a long time. I didn't see them till I was 60, even though I lived in Colorado a little while. I finally found them at Pawnee Grassland, which in fact is the only place I've ever seen them, so I'm glad I made the side trip to see some this year. I've seen bank swallows in several places in the past, but never very often, never very many. It was such a treat to find this huge flock nesting on the side of that bank. It was really great. I've got a few honorable mention birds I thought I had to add to that list. I just couldn't hold it to 10. We saw so many good birds. But I won't rank these, I'll just tell you about them. It's always a treat to see indigo buntings, right? This lazuli bunting took me by surprise. I almost never see one past April out here. The black-tailed gnatcatcher was a real treat. I should try harder to see those because they're so cute and active. They're just fun little birds. The eastern wood peewees I saw at the Indiana Dunes were a lot of fun. I just love to hear their cute little pee-o-wee call. It is, it's just fun. Willow flycatchers pass through here, but I never see them unless I make a special effort. They migrate through quickly. The common one out here is the pack slope, or I guess it's a western now, whatever they call it. I did have some birds that really frustrated me. I either saw them or heard them and couldn't get an image that I would show you. Some of these really bug me. I counted them in the 200, but I feel a little guilty about it. The top of this list is the Pinyon Jay. I don't have any photos of this. I've never gotten a photo of one. This is a public domain photo I got from the internet. In fact, thinking back on it, I think the only time I've ever seen these things is driving, which makes me insane. I saw some fly across the road, got good looks. I heard some at a different spot, but they were far off, and there was a woodhouse grub jay in between. I knew that wasn't going to happen. So, anyway, Pinyon jays frustrate me. New photo nemesis bird. This is a summer tanager, an old photo of mine because I missed the one this year. It was a big morongo. It flew in, landed in a tree, got a great look, then it took off, never to be found again. Ugh. Again, this is an old photo of mine, the yellow-breasted chat that I counted. I heard deep inside the foliage. Merlin agreed with me. I could see some movement in there. It would never coming out. It wasn't coming out. Oh well. I showed you video of the location of this gray vireo, and you might be able to hear it in the background. This is a photo I took at that same spot like 6 years ago on my big year, but he wasn't coming out this day. I'll talk more about sparrows in a minute, but here's a couple that I did count. The swamp sparrow I heard at the Indiana Dunes was too far away, back in the swamp, no way to get to him. What could I do? A clay-colored sparrow landed in a tree next to where I was loading my car after staying in the hotel one night in Nebraska. I thought it was a good omen that maybe I'd get some photos of one today, but I didn't. Now let's talk about birds I missed altogether. Some of these were ones I was almost sure I'd see, and others of these were ones I'd tried to time it right, but failed. I was disappointed not to see a Swainson's hawk, even though I'd seen one on the big day with Emily earlier this year. I still wanted to catch one on the trip, but wasn't to be in Colorado. I saw remarkably few hawks on the trip, just a few once I was into Utah. I saw a few red tails, and I saw one ferruginous in the mountains driving through Colorado. That was it. No canyon wrens. I like canyon wrens. I thought for sure I'd find one at some of the places I stopped in Colorado and Utah, but nope. Now we're into a bigger category, mostly due to migration timing misses, I think. Waterbirds in Nebraska, I thought I'd find some. Didn't see a Franklin skull. Didn't see a black tern either. I thought that was a real possibility. And ducks. There were very few ducks. I'd hoped to catch things like redheads and canvasbacks. Nope. Warblers were another big group of misses. I almost always see prothonotary warblers at the Indiana Dunes, but I didn't find any this year. Then at Montrose Point, I've had real great luck with warblers there. That's where this ovenbird picture's from, but pretty slim pickings there, too. Lucky I got that Canada warbler. Perhaps the ones that hurt the most, though, were the sparrows. First, I didn't see any field sparrows, which are pretty common in the Midwest. I've said those often in the past. And then the lifer I'd hoped to find on this trip was the Harris's sparrow. I thought I had a decent chance for that. I needed a lifer, didn't get it. Oh well. Another internet photo, by the way, not mine. I thought I'd also throw out a few spots I went. And of course, I have to start off with the Indiana Dunes. That place is just special to me, having grown up in that area of Indiana and visited the dunes often, many times over the years. The birding is great, the scenery is great. Maybe it's just a state park to some, but it's really special to me. Birds are there. They have a great festival. They had a festival the week before I was there. So if you get a chance, go. It's great. I was going to try to include all new spots on this list, but the other place I've been once before was Big Morongo. And frankly, that really saved my bacon, I think. I saw a lot of good birds there when I needed them at the end. Saw like the brown-crested flycatcher, which I never expected. The chat, the summer tanager, Lucy's warbler. It's a great spot. I'm going to go back. I have a soft place in my heart for the next spot, the Marsh Wren Community Wetlands. They're near Lincoln, Nebraska. That was such a great little spot. It was a salt marsh that a farming community had protected. Lots of good birds. I saw the sandpipers there, saw the dickcissels there, saw a flicker there, which I love. It was not really nice, really nice. The next spot is the Desert National Wildlife Refuge, which you know I like wildlife refuges. It was north of Las Vegas a little bit off Corn Creek. Once again, it was really great. My daughter Emily had been there and put me onto it. Saw the willow flycatcher and the western wood peewees and phainopeplas and the McGillivray's warbler. Really good birds. Go. Finally, the Wildlife Prairie Park near Peoria, where I went with my niece and her fiance. They carried me there, saw lots of great birds. That's where I saw the cuckoo, saw rose-breasted grosbeak, phoebes. We had a lot of fun, too, because there was, bears and bison and elk and cougar. They had great animals there, wolves. So it's a lot of fun for the whole family, plus great birds. I feel extremely fortunate to have met the 200 bird goal I'd set for myself in May. The number of excuses I have is probably too many, but I'll go through them a little bit here. First off was the weather. It was so windy. It was just windy the whole trip. Never let up. The start of the trip, I guess I was following a storm all the way out east. And most of the days, the winds were in the 20 to 30 miles an hour range. And even on the way back, the winds were still at least 15 most days. I check the weather every morning and get depressed. I think the day that my niece and I went to the Indiana Dunes was probably the lowest wind day, and we had a pretty good day. So I guess I should be thankful for that. Another problem I had was the timing. I was kind of locked in due to schedule of both my family that I was going to go see and my own schedule here. So I had to go that week. It was the second and third weeks of May. Really needed to go at least one, better maybe 2 weeks earlier. But what can you do? So plus with the wind, I think it moved some of the birds out. So the birds migrated out sooner than I had anticipated. I mentioned earlier I lost some ducks and water birds in Nebraska. I think I could have seen I didn't see the warblers that I'd hoped to see. Once again, timing is everything. Last but not least, this is a warning for all you young whippersnappers out there. Do it while you're young. I did my big year when I was 60, and I obviously did a lot more traveling that year and clearly had more energy that year. Uh, all that driving was starting to take it out of me. Even on my big year, it took it out of me a little on the long trips. So now that I'm 66, I've got to struggle to find that energy. In fact, that's partly why I'm doing these challenges this year, is to keep me active, keep me going. But do it while you're young. Well, that's it for now. I thought maybe I'd give you some prognostication on how the rest of the year will go, but I really have no idea. I had some things happen that I thought would make it be bad. Then I had some other things happen that maybe it'll turn out good. So who knows? We'll just take it as it comes. But thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. Please click that like button. Also, I encourage you to subscribe. I think that makes it a little easier to look up my old playlists, and I've got some good stuff up on there. Africa, Yellowstone, swimming with whale sharks, beluga whales. So I encourage you to do that. Got some other good stuff coming up too. Hope you enjoy it. Thanks again.